All right. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. Okay. So I was saying that basically, if I want to, I was talking about the paste button here. And I was saying that it allows you to paste any information that you have copied, whether it's text, it's a link, or it's an image from anywhere into your Word document. So I was going to demonstrate that, and then my network just gave out on me. So let's say I go to google.com, right? And I search for, let's say I search for a lion, for instance. And so if I want to copy this information from Wikipedia, if I just want to copy this, all I have to do is highlight it and then copy it with Control C. Okay. Once you have done that, you come back to your Word and then you can just click on this to paste it. And you see that it has been pasted. Now that's one way of pasting. If I wanted, I could have just used Control and then V. Just hold on Control and then you click on V. It will paste it the same way for you. Now, there is one thing about pasting text into Word. Now, usually, when you copy any text and then you paste it, it's going to preserve the format. What do I mean by that? You see that when we copy this, the text here, the currently ranging only in sub-Saharan, you see that it's bolded, like it's bold compared to the other text. This is bold. Okay, this from here to here is bold. You can see that when I select it, the bold icon here is active, right? Now that means that it has the text that I copied from the web was actually bold in nature. You can testify to that by looking at the text here. And so when you copy and paste, it keeps the format, but there's a way you can paste it without actually keeping the format. And then how do you do that? Basically, put the cursor at wherever you want to paste the text, and then come back here. You see that there is this drop down icon like a less than sign, but it's turned upside down. If you click on that, it will show you different versions of the paste, like how you can do the pasting, whether you want to keep it formatted like the way it was, or you want to merge it with your current format, or you just want the text. If you want to paste only the text, if I select only the text, see that it will paste it, but then we don't have any of the text being bold. I don't know whether what I'm saying makes sense. So basically, it means that when you are to paste any text, and this happens a lot sometimes, when you are when you are doing your research or when you are copying any information from online, okay, sometimes you go and copy. So let me just use this great example. Like when you are using ChatGPT, okay, then it gives you an answer. You copy it and you come and paste it detail like that and submit it. They will know because when you paste it, you just paste it, and then where to is keeping the format. Because of that, all the unnecessary details. Sometimes when you paste a document from ChatGPT, you see these things attached to the text. It will all be there. In reality, this is actually used. This is called like in Markdown. This is used to bolden a text. So if I had any text in between here, it would be bold if I was using a Markdown editor. But Microsoft Word doesn't know that. And so when you copy text from ChatGPT, which is a Markdown format, Markdown, this is what I mean, Markdown format. When you copy it and paste it, this is how it will look in Word. But in ChatGPT, this is bold. This text will be bold in ChatGPT. Because of that, when you paste things like that, you are going to have issues because your supervisor immediately can notify that no, this is copied from somewhere. Okay. And so one of the easiest way to not do that is to use the what? The paste like is to change it the format before you paste by selecting only text. And then when you paste only text, it doesn't what keep the format that it came. It only pastes just the text without any formatting. Okay. Now what if I don't want to go all the way there and then click there? You can right click, then you see that the paste details here we have paste options. You can paste by keeping the what the format, You can merge it, or you can just keep only the text and you still get the same effect. And so basically, you either go there or you right click and then use the paste options. All right, I hope that makes sense. Now, having talked about the paste icon there, you see that when I highlight a text, we have the cut and then the copy icons too. It becomes what? Active. What do I mean by active? Let's do this. I'm not selecting any text. If you notice here, it's not active. I cannot click on it. It's not clickable. Okay. But if I do select any text, if I highlight any text, okay, you see that it has changed color. Keep your eyes there. It has changed color. It's now active, which means I can click on it. So basically, these buttons only work when you have a particular piece of what? Text or an image or whatever you have selected. If you don't select anything, you cannot click on it because it won't work. Okay, so someone might ask me, how do I highlight a text? Okay, if you want to highlight a text, put your cursor where you want to start highlighting. Let's say I want to start highlighting from there. So put your cursor before the T, okay? Put it there before the T. You click, you left click on the mouse or your touch this thing, you left click. You hold it, then you drag to your left side. If you don't want to drag, come back and drag. Simply, if you want to highlight the two paragraphs, when you select the first word, you can just come down like this. It will highlight it automatically. To highlight the rest automatically. Once you keep moving downwards, to highlight everything downwards. Okay. If you also want to highlight from the right to the left, you can do that the same way. Put the cursor there, click, hold, and then you drag it towards the direction you want to highlight, either upwards, downwards, left, or right. Okay, that's how we highlight. Now, if you highlight and you want to cut, basically use the scissors. We use scissors to cut. Okay. Yesterday I mentioned that when you are using Microsoft Word, one of the easiest way to learn with just by yourself is to read the little helper menus that appears when you what point your mouse pointer to any icon. Now right now, if I point to the scissors, what am I seeing? I'm seeing control what? I'm seeing cut into bracket control plus X, CTRL plus X in the bracket. It's telling you that it removes the selection and put it on a clipboard so that you can paste it somewhere else. Basically, that's what cut does. It picks a piece of text that you have selected like this. If I use Control X, it will cut it off. And then I can now go wherever I want to go and paste it with Control V. Okay, this will do the what? The pasting for me. And so basically, that's all about cutting and copying. What about sorry, that's all about cutting and pasting. Now, what about copy? Copy allows you to duplicate your selected data or your selected text. So after selecting a text like this, if I click on copy, what happens is instead of let me just click on that. I'm kind of using the shortcuts. So instead of um, it cutting it away, it's going to make a copy of it into your clipboard. Okay, do we know what a clipboard is? Can someone tell me what a clipboard is? No one. Hey, you guys, you just want me to be talking it.
Is it not the icon? It's where you put some of the things you have highlighted
Yeah, exactly.
to
So
put to
basically,
paste.
exactly, that's it. So clipboard, basically, after you copy something or you cut something, it keeps it in memory, okay, somewhere in the computer to put it like as basic as possible. Like to oversimplify things, it keeps it in a particular space in the computer so that you can basically what paste it somewhere. You can later retrieve it. So if I highlight and I copy with the Control C, it duplicates this text that I've highlighted and keep it in the RAM. Okay, so that when I come anywhere, I can still paste it. The same data. I can paste it as many times as I want, and it will continue to be there. Until you replace it with another text that you have copied, it will continue to be there. Okay, so that's basically about what a clipboard and then copy and paste. Copy allows you to duplicate the text. Cut allows you to what to take out a piece of what text and then put it somewhere. And the pasting is what I mean by putting it somewhere basically. So that's all about cut, copy, and paste. Any questions? Am I confusing anyone? All right.
No, please.
All right. So if there are no questions, let's move to the next block. So we are basically done with here. We want to move to the next block here. This is where we deal with what? Text formatting. Okay. Now, what is text formatting? Basically, we have this text, and the formatting allows us to change how the text look inside our Word document. Now, what do I mean by this? If I go, let me zoom in a bit. See the text that we copied from Google earlier. If you are reading this, you notice that once you reach here, currently ranging only Sub-Saharan Africa and India, that text is deep, it's very deep, it's black. Now, if I wanted, I could make it a red text instead of black, and it could either be deep red or what, light red. As you can see here, what we have here, they are all black, all right, but that particular text has been highlighted, it has been made bold. Okay, so that's text formatting. You are able to change how the text will look and feel in your text document. Now, this blog specifically helps you to do that. And at the top here, usually by default, when you install Microsoft Word, you have the font family or the font of the text being what? Calibri. Calibri is just a font name that you can use. We have Times New Roman. That's usually those of us in schools. They usually ask us to submit our assignment in Times New Roman. That's this is where you go and set it. So if I want to change any text into what I want to change the font name or the font family of any text, what I have to do is go to this little box and then do the changing. But of course, if I want to do that, of course, if I want to do that, well, that's way too much. I hope you guys can see. Okay. So if I want to change any text, the font of the font name or family of any text, I have to highlight it. So just like our cut, copy, and paste, before we can do anything to a text, we have to select that particular text that we want. What this means is that in a single document, you can use what? Different font sizes, font names, and all that. But usually in formal documents, it's not allowed. Mostly you stick with one single format. Okay. But if I wanted to change the font name or the font family of the text that I've highlighted below, what I'll do is after highlighting it, I'll go to the box at the top here. And then if I know the font name to be Times New Roman, I can highlight the text in the Calibri. And basically, after highlighting it, you start typing your new font name. Let's say Times New Roman. Now, after typing it, you press enter. This will change how the font look. Now, compared to this font at the top, this is still using Calibri. This is now using Times New Roman. They look different, though it might not be too obvious. And one way for us to make it obvious is to change a completely what different font that uses what that changes the font style completely. How do I do that? Now, instead of going through to the top to do the changes, after highlighting a text, usually what you have is you see a pop-up menu. You see a pop-up box. Sorry, you see this box. It also has the same Times New Roman there, isn't it? That's because the font I selected is Times New Roman. I can just toggle that to change the font. I can just change this to something like this. You see that this is completely different. Basically, that's what it's all about. Now you can either use the menu that appears after you have highlighted this menu. You can either use that, or you can use the one at the top. It's there for simplicity, and you can choose whichever one you want. So I'm gonna go here. I'm going to change. Let me use something like this, so I will see the differences, right? So that's all about changing a font, the font's name or the font family of a text. All right. Now what happens if I want to deepen this one too? I can make it bold by using the what? The B here. Once you do that, you see that it's deep. If I want to make any of the text italic, you simply highlight the text you want to make italic, and then you click on what? I. It basically changes to italic style, okay? If I have this, let's say I want to what? Highlight the genus. I'll highlight the, sorry, if I want to underline it, I'll highlight it, and then I'll simply click on what? The U here. Now, if you remember from yesterday, I told you that with the U, you see that there is a ribbon down here that is pointing downwards, right? If I click on that, it allows you to select the type of line that you want to use for the underlining. You want it to be double line, you want it to be a single deep line, you want it to be a broken line, any style that you want, you can use it. You see? So this is an option that you have with the underline. Although we don't have those options for what? The bold and the italic. Okay. Now earlier when I mentioned that personally I don't like when you are busy, when you're working on a large document, you definitely wouldn't want to be moving up and down here, going to click here, B, come, highlight, go click U. Like, that's just waste of time. Okay. What you do is you simply highlight the text and use Control U. Control U would what? Would underline your text for you. Alright. Then if I want to make a text italic, simply highlight the text, Control I, it will change to italic for you. Now you have to notice that anytime you select a piece of text that has a particular format, that format will appear at the top there. So because this is both bold and italic, you see that the B is circled and the I2 is circled. Okay. All right. So any questions so far? All right. So kindly alert me if you have any issues or any concerns while I proceed. So we've talked about changing fonts name, changing the font weight. So that's another name for font size, font the bold. Sometimes they will ask you to what? Use a font weight. Okay, this is the same as what? Bolden, boldening of what? A text. You either want to make it what? Light, light bold or what? Deep bold. That all depends on you. So you usually use what? Bold font weight. Now I mentioned that if we want to what? To bold a text, we use what? Control B. If you want to make it italic, use Control I. If you want to what? To underline it, you select the text, and then you do what? Control U. That's all about it. So what happens if I want to change the size of the text? Because usually when they give you assignment, they tell you that you should use what? Uh, font size 12, right? Font size 12, and then they'll tell you that you should use what? The font name should be what? Times New Roman. Okay. Now we've already talked about Times New Roman, but what about the font size? The font size is basically how big your font is. Okay. So if I had this text, let's say my name is I'm going to take out the bold. What do? I highlight, I use Control U to remove the what? The line. But then I want to make my font what? Bigger. Go here, you see that it's 12. Simply type in the number you want. If you want it to be what? To be 30, you type in 30. But you have to remove the what? The 12 that's already there before you do that. Once you do that, press enter. This will increase the size of the text for you. If you want to reduce it to 10 or even 5, that depends. It's all up to you. You can use any number that you want. Okay? So that's about font sizes. It's as simple as that. It allows you to manipulate how big or small your text is going to be. Alright. So what happens? Sometimes you are busy working, you want to increase the size of the text, alright, but you do not want to make it in such a way that like you have to go and be increasing it, like you have to go and type the number, like no. So what do? You can use these two icons here. We have the A here, and then we have the another A here with the icon pointing downwards. So I'm not sure how I'm going to increase this window size, but I guess you can see the icons, right? Okay. So let me know if you cannot see this so that I'll check out on how I'm going to increase that. But when you use this, it allows you to double the size of what? The font text, the font size. Currently, we have the font size being 12. If I go and click on this, it will increase it to 14, right? It basically adds what? 2 to the 12. You see, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, in that order. The same thing applies to the one that is just beside it. This one decreases the font size downwards. So I tap 22, 20, 18 in that order. Okay, that's the use of the two A's there. Okay, now sometimes when you are typing or you are working with a document, sometimes you want what? To write a line across a text. Okay, you want to cancel something out, like when you are let's say when you are you are working with a text and then you want to what? To put a line across this. You can actually do that, but see that this is when you are drawing, it doesn't really look that nice. So what do? You use the what? The icon here, the ABC with the strike through. So basically, highlight the text that you want to use. Okay, and then so basically highlight the text that you want, and then you what? You click on the strike through. This will put a straight line through the text that you've highlighted. Okay, if I want to highlight only a single piece, let's say I want to highlight this. I want to strike through that. I basically do this. Okay, so that's about the strike through. This icon. You see the AB and there's a line across it. It's called the strike through what? Icon. It allows you to strike through a text that's been highlighted. Now we have the superscript and then the what? The subscript. Now if you look at this X, we have a two downwards. Basically, it allows you to what? To put those of you who did math, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have what? X squared. You have X subscript of what? I don't know, 3, right? But you see that when I'm typing this, it doesn't really represent what I'm mentioning, right? So if I want to what? To make this to a subscript of X, what do? I can just highlight this, okay? Then I'll click on this. It will make it a subscript of what? The 2. This. There we go. The same thing if I want to make the 3 a superscript, I'll simply highlight the 3. I go to the top and I click on what? That. So this will make it what? X cubic. And then what? X subscript of what? 2. So that's about that. You can use this when you are writing what? Your mathematical expressions in your document. Okay. So I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Right. So that's about subscript and then superscript. What about this? The A in blue here. It basically allows you to what? To add type text effects, like adding some visual flair to your text. Let's say you want to make your text blue, you want it to shine. It's like putting a makeup on your text. I'm sure you get what I'm saying. You want to make the text shine. What do? You highlight the text and then you go here. You have text effects. Go and click on the drop down and then you can basically what? Change or add some effects to it. You see, as I point to it, you see the effects, right? Let me zoom in a bit. There we go. So you see what's going on. It's either a shadow or a reflective what? Effect to the text. Like when you are standing on water and you're seeing your own reflection from the water. So if I want to change that, I can just change a different outline. See that? Let me see, which one do I like? This looks nice. And of course, you can change the color and everything. You can even change the outline. If I want to make this green, change the outline to green. If I want to change or increase the shadow, I can do that. See? So there are a lot of things that you can add or change to the text. You can do all kinds of things with this, especially for those who are going to be using it to do your designs and things. You will definitely be using that feature. Okay, so that's all about the typography effects. I'm not going to dig deeper into that because we still have a lot to cover. Okay, so let's move to the pencil here or the brush icon here. Basically, it allows us to add what? Color to our text. So like every other effect on the what? On the text effect section, you have to highlight the particular text that you want to, what, to work with before you can go and then add that effect to it. And so if I want to paint any text, obviously I'll have to what? To select that text before I can move on with it, right? And so how do we do that? Basically, highlight the text, go here, and you can change the color. Let's say, let's do something like that. What's your favorite color? I'm gonna use green. So you see that we have the color there. So that's all about that. But you notice that the font color is still black, alright? The font color, the text itself is still black, but it has added a what? A sort of background color to the text. So the text is sitting on a green background, something like that. So don't confuse that with font color. This is different. The font color is the one that's here. The A with the red underline it. That's the font color. This one is used to paint text like on the background. You basically highlight it with that color. It's called text highlight color. Okay. If I wanted to change the text to like white so that it will appear, what I'll do is I'll select the same text. I'll go to the A, click on the drop down, then I'll basically select white. And now we have what? A white text under a green background. Alright. I hope you are getting it. Okay. So let's move to the next item on our icons there. So sometimes you have a bunch of text, right? Let's say this name, okay? I want to make everything capital. Your first intuition would be to just go to a new line or to just delete everything and then start typing. Like turn on the caps and then just start typing up like him. But like I mentioned, if you're lazy like me, you don't do that because assuming that it's a whole what? it's a huge line and you want to make everything capitalized, what do you do? Now, instead of typing the whole thing, you highlight the text, then you go here. Okay. This one allows you to change the case of the text. You want to make everything what? Capitalized. You want to make it lowercase. You want to make it like a sentence case. Basically, if I want to turn everything into uppercase or capital, I'll highlight the text and go and click on uppercase. So turn it to what? The whole thing to what? Uppercase. Even if it is the whole document you want to do that, you can highlight the whole document and do that. It will work. Okay. If you want, let's just do that. We'll highlight this. We'll go there. We want to change this to, let's change it to this one. You see that basically that's how it is. It doesn't matter how big your text is, as far as you highlight all of it, it's going to work. So we have different effects there. You can make everything lowercase. You can make it sentence case, where we have the first letter of every this thing, every new line being capital. You can make everything uppercase. We've already talked about that. You can capitalize each word. We have each word, the starting of each word being capital. So that's about it. So if you want to switch the casing of any text, use this one. The symbol is A and then a small a, okay? Now, let's move to another one. Let's say that you want to change the font color. We've already talked about that. What is next? Huh. Let's say that you want to clear formatting. Now, what does clear formatting do? So sometimes when you copy text from ChatGPT, huh, let me do that. I don't know whether I have ChatGPT here. Okay, I want to get some text from ChatGPT. All right, great. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to go back. Let's say I paste this here, okay? I want to zoom out so that you can see the text very well. It's quite huge, it's quite long. So you see, automatically everything is bold. What I just copied, automatically everything is bold. But we don't want that. So what do you do when that happens? Alright, so it seems it also picked up my font by default. I don't want that. Alright, I'm going to replace it down here. Huh. So we have this here, right? And if I go and I select the text, it's using calibrate by default, which is okay. But this text is bold, right? Now sometimes you have different formats. You have the as if a text being either italic or it will look weird when you copy it. It doesn't look normal. When you copy and paste it, it doesn't look normal. One of the ways to deal with it is to clear the formatting. When you clear formatting, if the text was if there was some colors to the text, it was bold, it was italic, even the font, like the font style and all the things that we've added here, it will clear everything. That's what this format clearing is used for. Okay, so what do you do? Simply highlight the text that you want to clear the formatting from, and then you go and click here. You see that this will remove the bold text from it. You can see that it's not bold anymore, right? This is how it was. This is how it was. But if I clear the text, the format, if I clear the format, it removes the bold text. And so if it has any other weird formatting or any other weird form of text style attached to it, it will remove everything and return it back to the default way the text is supposed to look in your what? In your Word document. This behaves like our text only pasting style. You remember that, right? So earlier on, I showed you how to paste only text. If I go and I paste only text, huh? So you guys remember this thing that I was talking about, right? So this I mentioned earlier in ChatGPT. This is bold text, but so our Microsoft Word is going to add asterisks to all of it, like stars. Okay, you don't want to do that. Okay, so that's about it. Clearing the format. Although when you use the if I just use Control V to paste like we normally paste, we'll have a bold text here, like here. But if I paste without the format, we'll have something like this. It will not be bold, and it will take out all the little formatting that maybe ChatGPT has added to it. So that's what uh, format clearing is all about. Any questions? Any questions on the text formatting section? What we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not what? It's not an art, but a habit. Any questions? Are you guys sure that you are getting what I'm saying? Okay. So let's move to our next block, which is our paragraph section, where we are going to be dealing with text alignment and bulleting. Okay. So I'm going to start with the bulletin. Like yesterday, we talked about this bulletin thing when we're working with Google Docs. It's basically the same thing. Like, are you guys seeing any difference between the Google Docs and this one so far? Can somebody tell me what difference they have seen so far? Like, what did you see in Google Docs that you currently still haven't seen here? I'm waiting for someone to answer. Mm-hmm. Abdulhanan, Maltiti, were you there with us?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can you remember, like, are you seeing any difference between the Microsoft uh, Office Word and that of this in Google Docs? Or they are all the same to you?
They look pretty much the same to me.
Sorry?
They look the same to me.
They are not the same to you.
They look the same.
Oh, okay, they look the same to you.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Is anyone seeing something different from what we were doing yesterday? So basically, the items here is exactly the same things that we're having on Google Docs. We had the same B icon, we had the same font box, the italic, the underline, these icon, this and the text font, the increaser, the decreaser, the superscript, the subscript, even the strike through was there. So basically, what you learned yesterday can easily be transferred to what? Microsoft Word. You don't have to struggle. That's the easy part of all this. Once you learn something from one side and you understand it very well, you can easily what? Move the knowledge to a different sector, like the word. Okay, and you're going to see this repeated when we start working with Excel or even PowerPoint. Most of these things are the same. It's just like different way of doing things that have been added into it. Okay, so without further ado, let's move to the text alignment. Let's start with text alignment before we go to the bulletin. Now, text alignment allows you to put your text in a particular one. It allows you to put your text somewhere within a document. Whether you want it to be at the left side, at the right side, at the center, or you want it to be what? To be spread across, like justify alignment. Okay. So usually or normally when you by default when you are typing, it's usually from what? From left to right, right? Now, what happens if you don't want the text to all be at the left side like this? Okay. Now, usually when you are typing a letter, you want the what? The heading of the letter or the title of the letter to be what? To be centered after you do your DSL or dear madam, right? And you want to say maybe application for employment. You want this to be centered. How do you center that? Now, that's you want this to be at the center. How do you do that? That's where text alignment comes in. Okay. Now you see that automatically this left alignment has been selected because that's the default alignment that Microsoft Word uses. If you want to center it, if you want to move this text to the center, you click on what? The center alignment. Did you notice anything strange or new here from what I've just done? Like, did you notice anything? You didn't notice anything new. Let's try that again. Okay. I have application for what? Application for employment, right? I have this written down. And then this was how it was. I just did something like this. Then I went here and I clicked on what? Let me zoom in very well so that I can see what I'm talking about. Then I went here and I selected what? The center alignment. Did you notice anything?
Don't finish your homework. But you don't finish your homework tomorrow. Don't ask me for
Right. It has been moved to the center. Yes. But any other thing that you noticed? Did you watch how I did the alignment? Like I just typed the sentence. I just typed something and then I went and I clicked and then it moved it to the center. You see, under normal circumstance, usually when we're doing the italic, the bold, you have to what? You have to select the text before you go and do bold, right? Or before you go and do italic. But this one, I didn't do that. I just typed that thing, and then my cursor was still in front of it, and I went and selected center, and then it moved it to the center, like this. I don't have to select the text. But if I'm to do that with the bold, it will not work. If I go and do bold, it will not work. If I go and do the same thing with italic, it will not work. Okay, that's what I wanted to find out. You see, the thing about alignment is that alignment work in a like in what do we call like rules, okay? And so your cursor is currently in a particular what row. When you look at Microsoft Word to oversimplify things, everything is actually uh, kept in a form of like rows and columns. Even though you are not seeing the rows and columns, everything has been kept in like in small rows and columns. So because of that, like this, if I highlight like this, if I come and type something around here, it's still in the same row as the what? As the text here. And so alignment works in such a way that alignment affects rows and columns. So in this row, if I move the text here to what? To center, it means that any text that I put there will be centered. It might not make sense, but let me show you something. Are you guys seeing what I'm saying? Can you see the boxes? Now look at the text here. They are all in a particular line. They are all on a particular row. Are you seeing that? So that's the line that I'm talking about. So technically, you are just in a bunch of small boxes when you are working with what? Word. It's just that those boxes are not visible. This is more or less like Excel, but it's not actually Excel because you cannot directly interact with the boxes. Okay. So I wanted you to see that. So basically when you do text alignment, it affects all the text that will be written on this particular line. And so if I go to the new line and I start typing, this will not be affected unless I what? I intentionally do that. And so you can't have text on the same line here. Like let's say you want this one to be centered, right? You want this one to be on the left alignment, and then you want this one to be centered. You can't do that because we're working with rows and columns here. But previously, if I wanted, I could make this one bold, then I'll come here and make this one italic. Like, it's what I'm saying making sense. All right. So basically, I know this is getting like I'm getting too much into little details that you probably won't find necessary, but it's usually good to understand like what is happening like deeper in the background so that when you are making some mistakes, you know exactly what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to take out the ruler and the grid. We don't want to have that. We are back to our normal what? Word. Okay, so that's about text alignment. Text alignment allows you to what? To put a particular text into what? A particular position on the document. Whether you want it to be centered, like we currently have here, you want it to be right, so move it to the right side, right, like this, or you want it to be what? To be justified. You can do that. Now, like almost every other action in Word, it has a shortcut. Some of these basic things, I will encourage that you actually what? Memorize the shortcuts. We have the shortcut for bold, which is Control B. Italic is Control I. Control U is for what? For underline. Now, if I want to move a text to the left alignment, we use what? Control L to move to the left alignment. If I want to make it center, I'll use Control E for center. E, okay? Control what? E for center. Control what? G for justified. If I want to do Control right, I'll use Control R. So Control L for left, R for right, E for center, and then J for justified. All right. So maybe after this, I might prepare some shortcut this thing and just share it with you guys in the group. Okay. So with that said, we've talked about what? Text alignment. What about bulletin? Now, if memory serves me right, yesterday when we were talking about Google Docs, I showed you guys the bulletin. It's the same thing, and the icons are actually the same thing. You can use this for your bullets. Let's say this is our what? First item. You have number two. So you can do bulletin in this way, or you can do what? Ordered listing. When you want to list things in order, like numbers. Let's say number one. So sometimes you want to present, let's say, the names of your class members. You do number one, maybe Mushe, Hakim, number two, John Doe. So in that order, okay. So we use this to do our what? Our numbering. We use this to do our what? Our bullet listing. Okay. Now, sometimes you don't want to use this dots. Sometimes you want to use a different icon for your bulletin. What do? You see that it also has a drop down. Click on the drop down and you can select the one that you want. If you want to use smaller circles, something like a cubic circle, a cubes. You want to use this, you want to use a star, you want to use this, or a check mark. Basically, select the one that you want in the drop down menu, and then it will allow you to what? To continue with it. So, even if I had, if I was using this and then later I want to change it to numbers, it becomes easy to change it back. Okay. Now, don't try to do something like this. Like sometimes someone shares a document with you, and I've actually witnessed this before. What you see them do is they'll put a full stop, then they will do a they'll put a full stop, they'll give space, and then they will say, let's say number one, another full stop, number two. Please don't do that. That's not how we do bulletin, okay? This is just basic text. This is not bullets. So if you want to actually do correct bulletin, what you do is you what? You select. So even if you started typing before it came to your mind that you want to make it bullet, just highlight the text that you want to make bullet, and then you what? You go and select the bullet that you want to use. And I see that because I was using the dots will be what? Will be sent along with the lesson when we are doing the bulletin, along with the text when we are doing the bulletin. Okay, we don't want that. So avoid using the period or the full stop for your bullets. That's not the proper way of doing bulletin. So if I want to change this to numbers instead, all I have to do is what? Highlight the bullets like this. Then I'll go here. And then the numbers we have different way of numbering. I can change it to something like this. Are we getting it? Alright. So let me know if you are not hearing me or if anything happens. So that's about the numbering. That's about the bulletin. And we also have what? A different way of what doing the numbering. And so sometimes let's say that you want to put another bullet inside what the current bulletin. What do I mean? Let's say that you were typing this, and under the second one you have different forms of bullets. So what you do is simply come back here. When you're on the second line, press enter. You press on the tab on the keyboard. There's a key named tab. It's right when you're using the QWERTY keyboard. It's right above the caps keyboard, just on your left side, beside the Q. Is the caps. Sorry, it's the tab key. When you click on it, it will change the what? It will put that new bulletin style under the what? Your current location. Okay. And this one too can be changed. You can basically change it to a different what? Different style. Let's say you want to use I. And let's go back. First, second, third, right? In that order. And you can have multiple bullets under what? Bullets. So basically you can put it under multiple levels. That's what this one twist allows you to do. This one to allows you to create what? Bullets under multiple what? Bullets. But you can do that with the shortcut I've just showed you by using the tab. It makes it easy for all of us, okay? Now, we've covered multi-level bulletin, simple bulletin, numbers for your bullets. We've talked about text alignment. Now, let's talk about what? Line spacing. Very important. So sometimes what happens is that when they give us assignments, they tell us that they want us to use what? Times New Roman as our font. They want the font size to be 12. They want the line spacing to be 1.5. What is the line spacing? The line spacing is just what, as the name says, it allows you to what? To put spaces between lines. So let's say that I have what? This is my first paragraph, and it's a long text. Okay, let's say I have a third one, right? So the space right here between this and this is what we term as our line spacing. Spaces between lines. Okay. Now, sometimes you want this to be what? Very small, or you want it to be longer. Okay. What do? You have to highlight the text, and you go to the line spacing here, which is this icon. Then you click on it. You can select the what? The type of line spacing you want. They want to be number 1, 1.0, 1.15, 1.5, 2.0, and you can see that as I highlight on each of them, the spaces keep increasing. Basically, that's what line spacing allows us to do. It allows you to add what? Spaces between your text. Next time they give you an assignment, they tell you that they want the line spacing to be what? 1.5. After you have finished typing everything in the work, you highlight it, the whole text, then you use what? You come here, click on it, and go and click on what? 1.5. That's it. You're done like that. Simple. Okay. Now, what about our paint bucket? Let's look at our paint bucket here. This one allows us to do shading. Okay. So let's see. It allows us to paint our our pages. Okay. You probably wouldn't be using this unless you are doing any like some kind of design in Microsoft Word, because I don't think like you'll be doing painting in your official documents. But basically, it allows you to what? To paint your highlighted what? Text. So if I do something like this, I go to the paint bucket, select my color, and there we go. Get it? I can continue typing text under here. Now, of course, you can see that my text is still dark or black because this is not font color. Remember, font color is here. Okay, don't confuse font color with these background or paint buckets. Okay, now that's about the paint buckets. What else do we have? We have the decrement, indentation, and then we have the what? The increasing of indentation. What is indentation? Indent. When we say we want to indent a particular text, we want to what? It's like spaces from the left to right. Okay, so if I use this, it will basically be moving the text to the right side. Remember, this is not changing the alignment of the text. No. And so even if you have what? Your text being left aligned, you can still indent it to what? To the right side. But it is still left alignment, like as you can see here. This is different from making a whole text what? Right alignment. This is different, okay? Please don't confuse the two. They are completely different things. When you are using this indentation, it's just like pressing on the tab. Okay. Let's see. So how useful is this thing? So sometimes, not even sometimes, when you are typing a letter, okay, when you have a letter, we have the sender address, and then we have the what? Our recipient address, right? All right. So what happens if I want the sender address to be on the right side? Now the recipient address to be on the left side, right? What do? You don't go and then you use what? Let me use spaces like this. You don't do that, please. This is not an appropriate way of moving the text to the what? To the right side. When you do this and someone opens it inside their phone or their computer, it will look completely different. Okay. But if you are doing this with a tab, it will actually be different. Now also, we don't use the right alignment because the right alignment, although it will actually indent it in a way for you, but if you are dealing with multiple lines of text, it might look weird. Okay, so let's say I want to say PO Box 354 Tamale NR. Now look at how weird this looks. Okay, this is not how we want it to be. But if I go here and I say okay, my sender address box NR, what I can do is I can highlight the whole text like this. Then I can use tab, okay? If I don't want to be pressing the tab so that you don't get it, like I can just go here. We use the what? The increasing of indentation. And we click until it reaches the point that we want it to reach. We're gonna click again. This is let's do this. Let's decrease it on one tab. So look at something like this. This looks way official than what we were doing earlier. I mean, just look at this. Let's zoom up. All right. So look at what we have here. Okay, look at this and look at this. I mean, which one looks more official? Just look at this. Look at this. The second one looks way official than this. That's why you don't use the right alignment when you are moving the text. Use the indentation. And so if you don't know the tab key on your keyboard, just use this. It will allow you to do what? The same thing. So I want to move it back to right. There we go. So the indentation allows you to what? To move the whole text to an appropriate what? Place. It doesn't change the alignment. Don't forget that. All right. So we've talked about indentation, increasing indentation. Increasing indentation will move it to the right side. Decreasing it will move it back to the what? To the left side. So if I wanted to decrease and I don't want to use the tab key, I can hold on shift and press on the tab to move it backwards. Okay, so that's about it. This is only useful for those who are on computer. We've talked about the pin.
Hi, Hakim.
Hello.
Sorry, my hand has been up for some time now. I thought you noticed me.
No, the chat wasn't up on my screen.
Fine, I had to by forcefully come in. Okay, I think we should wrap up after the indentation feature so that we'll continue tomorrow. I do understand that because it is night times, a lot of people have left to sleep, and then some people too have DM me about their networks. So if we continue, majority might lose out. So we can wrap up and then continue tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. So talking about wrapper, if any of you have any questions, I think now will be the best time to take it because the next place we'll be going will be the like creating of tables. I think that might take a lot more time.
So we can start tomorrow's lesson with the creating of tables.
Yeah. So any questions? Sani Khadija, any questions? Ilham,
Yes.
any questions?
No, please.
So you understand everything I've just said?
I think so.
Ilham is an expert.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, I hope so. What about Fatima Adam? Mafati, don't tell me she has slept on the phone.
I want to believe so.
Senior Hader, what's up? Hader Mandia.
Rafia,
Yeah, I
Uh,
think we just I think I don't want to.
uh,
I'm
Mariam
just here
Munkaila.
observing.
Mariam Munkaila, what's up? Hey, you have to say something. Oh.
I'm just observing. Oh.
Hmm.
Mm,
Good.
I'm just in the background observing. So me too, I'm learning.
I'm expecting additions from your side. So
Hey, who? What's up? I don't want trouble. Me too, I'm a student here. Oh.
Mariam Munkaila.
You know you are my boss, so
Hi, so Mariam Munkaila.
Yes, please.
Any questions
No.
or additions?
No, please.
So you
thank
guys, you understand everything I've been talking about from A to Z.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's impressive, actually.
We have a lot of shekos here. Uh, what
I
about
think Rafia, I can
Raf,
see Rafia too in the background.
Rafia to Zulum?
What that?
And then Sani Khadija.
Adija.
She was active, but now her mic is mute like something. It's like
Yeah. All right. I think for today we'll crown Multity Ilham as the most loyal participant.
got tough.
So Rafia has finally slept off. Anyway, that's fine. That's fine. we can get back and then we'll converge again tomorrow, inshallah. And thank you very much for joining and for staying with us from the beginning till now. Those of us still here. Okay, Khadija, Mariam, Elham, we are taking notice, and of course, some of you, even if the in person is going to be paid, those of you that are very loyal and is able to stay from the beginning till now,